Hornets at Lakers Sunday, NBA round 1 action, game 1. Who do you like and why?
This is simple, RJ, and it's almost maybe too automatic for me, but I'm going to take New Orleans plus the points. This is pure value for me. The Lakers, marquee team. We all know that. Defending NBA champions. They struggled down the stretch, but they're still, everybody loves the Lakers. It's like they expect them to flip on a switch and like a light, and it's the playoffs and they're going to win. They beat New Orleans all 4 meetings during the regular season. 3-1 against the spread. New Orleans, absolutely horrible the last 3 games. 3 blowout losses to end the season. Nobody's going to want New Orleans on Sunday. I'll take them.
All right, well, that's not the typical Marco convoluted logic. So now, back 7, 8 years ago, there was a group that I was betting with, and there was an old school guy in the group and out of Wisconsin, and he had a system. So the distinction is a system is league-wide, a trend is team-specific. And in his system, he said, if you have teams that are very disparate, okay, so let's define that. I think it was if there was 250 percentage points of win difference maybe, or 200, so 750 versus 550 or whatever, that in game 1 of the first round only, that it was play the favor. And the theory is that throughout the 2 months potentially of the playoffs, there's a lot of down spots. And taking the dog has the potential in many spots. But when it comes to that first game of the playoffs, it's almost like those tired legs. It's like Christmas morning, those tired legs or whatever. It's like we're going to, we got to establish this thing. So I love dogs, but I'm always a little, would we agree in general the Lakers' focus here is going to be a lot stronger than if they're up 3-1 in game 5 or whatever, and they're probably laying the same amount?
Absolutely. Game 1, there's a lot of people that they just lock on to home teams in game 1. And, way back in the day, if you remember,
when you say way back in the day,
that's way back in the day. But round 1 wasn't always a 7-game series. It was a 5-game series.
That's only been like 5 or 6 years. Right?
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up, because you're quoting something that was like, about 8 years ago. So I think there definitely was more of an emphasis on game 1 in a 5-game series than a 7-game series.
That's a good point. Let me counterpunch again. Is the Lakers finished the year slow? They certainly had a great run after the All-Star break, but then they finished the year slow. Doesn't that put an extra edge to their focus in game 1?
Well, that's what the public, again, the public just always buys into the Lakers. They never, no matter how bad they're playing, they still, it's Kobe and company.
You're saying that's
Phil
a legitimate
Jackson.
factor, but it's being overvalued.
I believe so. Now, they did, the beauty to add to it is they had that 5-game slide, but then they finished the season winning the last 2 games. So now people are going to say, okay, now Phil's got them ready for the playoffs. Kobe's serious. They're going to come out and blow out New Orleans in the first game. I just think that the fact that New Orleans, especially in their last game, they got drilled by 30-some points, 32 points at Dallas. This was a game that really didn't mean anything to New Orleans. Dallas, was still jockeying around for position, and it was at Dallas. Once the game got out of hand, New Orleans shut it down. They melded in the second half of the game.
We're trying to assess how significant the last game of the year was for the Hornets?
To me, it was meaningless.
Exactly. So, okay, fine. But if the Hornets had won that game, this line's no different.
I think it would have been maybe a half a point to a point different. You lose by 32 points. Doesn't matter if it's meaningless or not. The public, again, looks at
this line's been bet up, right?
It's been bet up. It opened up at 9.5, and it's gone to 10. And honestly, by Sunday...
Now, that early action is either, we've talked about one of 2 things. Wise guys taking a position, or wise guys front running looking to buy back. How you're hoping to buy back.
To me, because it is a public team, I think they're looking for the buyback later.
The odds are a lot better because it is a public team. So you say wait till 5 minutes before tip on this baby, right?
Yeah, I don't see this line coming back down. for sure. So the value would be wait as long as you can wait. And because it's Sunday, because it's the middle of the day game on Sunday, it's going to be the prime game. Lakers are going to take money. They just have to.
Give us your official projection.
I have the Lakers winning, but I have this first game being closer than people think. I have Lakers winning 96-91, take New Orleans in game one. And if that comes true, then it would set us up for a play in game two.
All right. Well, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to go neutral. I like the dog. I just think if there's a handful of spots this entire playoffs that I don't want to buck the Lakers, and this feels like one of them, is because it feels like to some degree they've got to establish this a new season, because whatever hot streak they had, it wasn't them not having the number one seed is a disappointment.
I agree.
All right, it's your turn to continue the conversation in the comment section with Marco and me. And next up, we're going to be talking about which game on Saturday?
Portland, Dallas, and it's my best bet.
Portland, Dallas, and Marco's best bet of the week.